Every business wants good customer reviews. Every customer wants a good experience. So what happens when both sides click? Or in some cases, when they don't? From Yelp and Entrepreneur Media, this is Behind the Review.
Behind the review, dig deeper too. Behind the review, get all the news. Food, flowers, fixing, make business boom. Behind the review, dig deeper too.
I'm Emily Washkovic, Yelp small business expert. Behind the Review features conversations with business owners and customers who wrote one of their Yelp reviews. In our discussions, we talk about lessons they've learned that can be used by other businesses to improve their own reviews and their bottom line. This week, I'm talking with Adam Goldberg, the founder of PopUp Bagels, a business that started as an at-home hobby and has since become a sensation in multiple cities. Known for its simple but high-quality bagels, PopUp has earned a loyal following with its unique approach to making and selling bagels by the dozen. We'll also hear from reviewer Amanda R., who discovered PopUp Bagels during a recent trip to the East Coast. As an avid Yelp user and bagel lover, Amanda uses Yelp to find great local spots whenever she travels.
I recently went to PopUp Bagels when I was on a visit to New York City. I'm from California, so we have good bagels here, but obviously New York is the spot to go for bagels. So we knew we wanted to go somewhere. I was there with a few girlfriends and we hopped on Yelp, searched for bagels near us, near the hotel we were staying at, and a few places obviously popped up. There's a lot of selection, lots of competition. And we were browsing. I'm a huge fan of everything bagels. So the second that picture popped up as one of the main images in search, I was like, okay, I need to check this place out. And there was actually a specific picture of someone opening the bagel and it was so soft and fluffy inside. I was like, I think this is it. And that kind of had me, but I still continued doing some research, checked out the other images, checked out the reviews, had 4.5 stars. I was like, okay, this is looking good. The pictures looked spot on. And so that was our spot. We knew we had to go.
When you're in New York City, there's no shortage of bagel spots to choose from. Like Amanda said, it's the hub of those giant, fluffy bread creations. But sometimes one spot stands out, thanks to great reviews and enticing photos, just like Amanda discovered. Let's give her review a listen.
Such a cute little bagel shop. Staff is so friendly and efficient. You have to buy a minimum of 3 bagels and it comes with a little tub of cream cheese. There was a bit of a line when we got there, but it moved super quickly and we got our order almost immediately after ordering. Got an everything bagel and it was perfectly toasted with a crispy outside and a super soft inside. Scallion cream cheese was delicious. Definitely recommend.
So, what makes PopUp so special? It's not just the delicious bagels or the friendly service. It's the unique approach to bagels that Adams crafted. What started as a simple pandemic hobby quickly gained traction, leading to a one-of-a-kind experience. If you want to hear the origin story and background on how this multi-location business started in someone's backyard during the pandemic, listen to last week's conversation one-to-one with Adam. He shares the story of how PopUp got started and even digs into the process of sourcing funding and taking the brand to new heights. Like Amanda's experience in New York. She was far removed from the origin of PopUp in Connecticut. But because of a strong brand and culture, the experience she had was aligned with what Adam's team has curated from the start. That lively, energetic vibe that extends to the customer experience as well. Employees are having fun, and that energy is contagious, making each visit feel personal and memorable.
Both employees, after they said their spiel, said, appreciate you. And I was like, it felt so genuine. And I don't know for sure, like maybe that's part of their training. Everybody says that. but it literally felt like almost just a coincidence that they had both said it, and it just made me feel like they truly appreciated me being there, and it was so like I said, it was a really short interaction, but it was very sweet, and the bagels were amazing.
Amanda's visit to the New York City location is just one example of how pop up bagels has grown. But that kind of success didn't happen overnight. After working out of a shared kitchen for a while, Adam knew it was time to take things to the next level by opening his own location. And then, with the right investors and connections in place, he was able to bring his bagels to New York City, right in the heart of Manhattan. But getting the location and creating the vibe wasn't the only challenge. Adam had to rethink how people would experience pop up bagels in the city. Let's hear how he made it happen.
Some of the investors we put together were in New York real estate, and we thought that would be helpful at some point. So one of our investors owns the block that our store is on, and there was a laundromat going out of business, and he offered it to us, and we said, "Let's do it." Right next to Carbone, and we're like, "Oh, we're going to be next to Carbone. It's all these people that are always going in and out, and we're going to put up this blackout windows, and it's just gonna no one's gonna even know what's going on in there, and it's just gonna be a private hot bagel bakery where you have to pick up your bagels by the dozen, and the limos will be lined up, or no one has limos anymore, but the Escalades will be lined up, and people will be getting their dozens." And that's how we were gonna open our New York store. And like 2 weeks before we opened, I had this nightmare that no one's gonna be able to try our bagels, and there's no product, and what do we do? Like, college kids don't need a dozen bagels all the time, because in until that moment, the only way to buy a pop-up bagel was to buy a dozen bagels at any of our Connecticut locations. So I was like, "Oh, we need to make like a bag." And I worked backwards, like, what's a price that someone's willing to pay, max or minimum, for it to be feasible for us to sell it and feasible for them to buy it. And $12 is what I came up with. And we worked backwards, and we decided that three bagels and a schmear for $12 was a good value. And two people could share that for lunch or breakfast. And that's the grip, rip, and dip bag. People used to pick up bagels from us in Connecticut, and the hot bagels would go. And the first thing they do is they put the cream cheese container in the cup holder, and they grip, rip, and dip. And that's kind of where that New York store vibe came from. So what we wanted to do, we used to be about 80% pre-order, 20% walk up. We're now 20% pre-order and 80% walk up. And that store started with two refrigerators. It now has eight refrigerators. The store started with one oven. It now has three ovens. And we've made it to the point where, and we also take your order on the line so that while you're waiting, you don't feel like you're waiting and then deciding. I mean, the absolute worst thing is when you go somewhere and you're waiting behind someone and they get up to the register and then they're like, "Okay, I think," no, we want to be like, how do we, and not that we don't love our community, we do, but we know they don't want to spend more time in the store or in line that they have to. So we designed the whole process that we take your order online. When you get to the counter, we kind of have an idea. We always say the longer the line, the hotter the bagels. And that's because the more people we see, the more we know we can put in the oven. And on busy days, we really want you to get your bagels within 10 minutes of coming out of the oven. And we're able to do that. The more people that show up, the easier that is for us.
Adam's careful attention to every detail of the New York City store, from the ordering process to the freshly baked bagels, paid off. Customers immediately noticed the unique, charming aesthetic, making each visit not just about what you're eating, but the entire experience.
They had the cute little awning, and then they had this little stand. I think it maybe was to help with the line, but they had a little stand, and it said their slogan is "not famous but known." And so it was just so cute. Everything was about it. I mean, it was a very like picturesque style moment, and it was really organized outside. There was like a little queue rope so people knew where to go. But of course, like you got to get the bagel pick up there with the background and holding the cream cheese, the cute little brown bag. And yeah, they have their aesthetic really well done too.
And that's exactly what Adam had envisioned from the start, creating an experience that went beyond just great bagels. Every detail was meant to make customers feel connected to the brand, both in store and online.
Our whole setup is a vibe. We want people to feel a certain way, not only when they're in our stores with dance music playing, when they're eating our product with the freshness of the product, but also when you're on social media or when you're looking in the press or something, or when we're doing a brand collab. Like we want to emit a certain vibe.
But it wasn't just the inside decor that made an impression. The popularity of the shop was clear. Even with a crowd, the efficiency and energy of the place made the wait all part of the experience.
We had a late start that morning and I think it was probably around 11. It was a weekday. So I'm like, probably not going to be that busy. Turn the corner and there's a ton of people. And I'm like, okay, part of me is thinking, I'm so hungry. How am I going to wait in this line? And then the other part of me is like, okay, this really has to be good because there's so many people here. So we pull up, it's this cute little awning outside, open air front, get in line. And literally before we knew it, we were already inside and ordering. It was so fast, so efficient. And then the woman who took our order, very helpful. I think that when you see the line, it's just like a busy restaurant, right? You're like, there's got to be something here that people love, but it can also feel a little chaotic and you're not sure exactly where to stand. And then you're also getting in a line that you don't know how long it's actually going to last. So for this place, what was so amazing was how quickly it did move. So it was nice to kind of be able to have that balance of somewhere that I knew was really good and was willing to wait for, but then knew was going to also move quickly.
Even with the rush of people, the quality of the food didn't miss a beat. For Amanda, the freshness of her bagels was the standout, leaving her with exactly the experience she'd been hoping for.
I didn't really have any idea how it would be prepared. I'm like, okay, you choose one cream cheese for three bagels. And then are they going to be cut? Are they going to be toasted? Are they going to be warm? Are they going to be, do you do the cream cheese yourself? I had really no idea what to expect, which usually actually a little more prepared than that, but it was nice to have a surprise. They gave you the cream cheese first, which was like a significant tub of cream cheese. And I love a ton of cream cheese. So I was pretty amped that we got to self serve and put as much as we want on there. And then when they handed us the bag, I grabbed the bag and I immediately like put my hand on the outside and it was so warm. And I was just like, I felt the warmth in my body. I was like, yes, this is going to be so good. And then I think the little description at the top of the Yelp page said something about how they're so crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. And that's also the picture that I'd seen that drew me to this place in the first place. So it was exactly as expected. So crispy and toasted on the outside, very warm and soft on the inside. And we literally walked down like a few blocks, sat on a stoop, and just like took pieces of the bagel and dumped it in the cream cheese. And we were on cloud nine. So good. Also, when you walk in, it's not your average kind of pastry or bakery where you have everything lined up to see, which also was kind of what lent to the surprise. You have this open space kitchen in the back where everyone's working. And quite frankly, they were so fast that I didn't even get to see how it happened. Like, were they sitting there and then they toasted it right away? Are they moving so quickly that they're always toasted? I have no idea, but whatever they're doing it right. But it was nice, really, yeah, to just know that it was super fresh. There was no doubt about it. Even though I didn't even see it with my own eyes, like I knew that it was really fresh.
Speaking of the cream cheese, Adam didn't just stop at the basics. Let's hear how the idea for weekly schmears came about and how it got customers wanting more.
The whole premise of our business is to keep it simple. We want to deliver the best product we can deliver and at the same time be able to pay our bills and have a profitable business. We have 140 employees right now. I want to make sure they all get their paychecks and they all get to eat and feed their families and everything. So to me, the biggest waste in the food world is when you have a menu that's too big and you have too many products and you start looking at what is our cost of goods and then what's our waste cost. And the one thing I never really want to have is a waste cost. And you're always going to have something, but I don't want that number to be 5, 10, 15, 20%. I want it to be 1%. And the way we did that was the most common cream cheese ordered is scallion across the board. So we always sell scallion. We always sell plain because there's kids that want plain and there's some people who can't have onions, and that's fine. We also always sell a butter because I love butter. Like butter is my thing on a hot bagel. To me, there's nothing better than butter. And then it's the flavored schmear. It started with our friends in Westport that were making cream cheese for us and getting really creative. And then it also took the next step when our friends at Utz Snack Company sent us cheese powder and we made an Utz cheese powder thing. And Valentine's Day, like Choco Cherry Bomb. So, like, we realized if you create these flavors, not everyone's going to love every flavor. But if we can give you something that once a month, you're like, I have to try that. Well, that keeps customers happy. It keeps them fresh. It keeps them excited to try new things.
Another unique aspect of pop up bagels is their 3 bagel minimum policy. It's an interesting choice and one that caught Amanda by surprise during her visit. Let's hear her thoughts about it.
I was surprised, but also I thought there's got to be some reason why they do this, that, or maybe it's just like it would be too low cost to just do single bagels. But if I was visiting there only with myself, like I said, I would have. I'm there. I'm still getting 3 bagels. Maybe I'll like give a bagel to someone in need, or give it to a hotel worker or something, or eat 2 or 3. But it was a little surprising that they didn't do and individuals, and also that the cream cheese was so big. But again, you're there for what the experience that they're trying to create. But I also think like something like that is important to disclose to people, because maybe there is someone who would actually decide on a different spot because they saw that information. And I probably could have found that if I dug a little bit deeper. But again, because I had 3 people, it actually worked out really nicely.
Running a business, especially one that's growing, means thinking beyond the product itself. For Adam, understanding when and how to scale was a crucial part of keeping the business successful.
I think the most important thing is if you're not profitable before you scale, don't bother scaling. And I think it's absolutely absurd that people think I'll scale my way to profitability. Now, in a tech company, when you're, you know, Amazon selling books, yeah, you could scale your way to profitability. But as a food business, you're not going to scale your way to profitability. It's simply not going to happen. So you have to look at your core like, hey, if I'm 5 people sitting in a kitchen making a product and selling it, are we profitable? Yes. Okay, good. Now let's look at the next step. The next step is how do I scale? And for me, a lot of that is knowing what I can do and what I can't do. And the first person I brought in was someone that knows production, knows logistics, knows how to build a team. If you don't know how to build a team, and I don't know how to build a team, my idea of building a team is hiring a few people and being like, hey, we have a store now. Oh, you don't need to post a schedule. Who needs a schedule? So my production guy who we hired is amazing and he handles production and his whole team is amazing and everyone involved there is amazing. But then as I was opening stores, I was like, well, wait a second. Now I have 5 stores I need to staff. And I'm waking up at 4 a.m. wondering who's showing up today because I didn't believe in schedules. So we brought in a retail operations person who knows this, who's been doing it for 20 years, 25 years. That's so important. Let the people who are great at what they do what they do.
Collaboration was key to getting pop up bagels on the map. As Adam's business grew, he knew he had to curate the right team and find the right partners to handle everything from logistics to marketing. By surrounding himself with the right people, Adam was able to expand efficiently and capture the attention that helped drive the business forward.
Up until almost a year ago, I was running all of the social, all of the PR, all of the marketing. I had, with the exception of our store staff, we had a guy by the name of Doug Troy who was running all of our production and logistics, and Rachel, who, going back to day one when Rachel and Bill told me to use their kitchen, Rachel came in and was helping me with the books and with the numbers and bills and making sure that financially we are okay, and basically doing HR at the same time. But so back then, a lot of it was just our internal creativity and doing what we thought was right. When we opened our store in New York in March or April of 2023, that was our first real brick and mortar. That's when we got real attention and people started saying, "Hey, can we do this? Hey, can we do that?" And I was like, "Sure, absolutely."
When it came to marketing, Adam knew that social media would play a huge role in Papa Bagel's success. By treating every customer as an important person and embracing opportunities with viral food accounts, Adam was able to grow his brand's online presence in a big way.
There were two things that were awesome in the beginning when we opened in New York that were pivotal. And there were hundreds of pivotal at moments, but one of them was Madison from Sister Snacking, which is a big viral food influencer account. They came in, ate the bagel, put the trout roe on, and said, "This is the best bagel in New York." And that was like, like a rocket ship for us. The other thing was we always treat every person in our store like they're an influencer, and we treat every person in our store knowing that every bagel that goes out is probably going to be photographed and wind up online. So there was this lady walks in, and this is early days of New York, and says, "Hey, I'm meeting a friend. I'm going to come back. I think they're going to be late, probably not for an hour." And someone hands her, because this was what we did, a bagel and said, "Listen, have a bagel while you wait." She goes, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Look, your friend's late. Have a bagel while you wait, and we'll see you in an hour and we'll have some fun." She comes back an hour later, buys bagels with her friend, blah, blah, blah. All is great. All is great. The next day, our accounts are blowing up. Her name is Condiment Claire, and she's a big influencer from England. And she's writing about how amazing this bagel shop was that handed her a bagel while she waited for her friend. That was it was a really important moment where first of all, whether she's an influencer or not, like, we like to take care of our customers and we like to take care of our community that shows up for us. And sometimes if you're waiting for your friend, that sucks. Like, here, have a bagel. Those were two early moments of, okay, this is awesome.
While social media helped Pop Up gain traction, Adam understands that the true business longevity comes from consistently delivering great customer service. It's not just about going viral, it's about creating memorable, personal experiences for every customer who walks in.
We want you to feel a part of our community while you're in the store without having to talk, because you don't necessarily want to talk to us. So when you come in, just being a part of the interaction between someone at the register, someone at the bagel bins, someone in the kitchen, you're, for the 30 seconds or 1 minute you're in our store, you're kind of a part of that interaction. And the way you hand us your bag and the way we call out your name, like, you're there. And if we have a guy on Thompson Street, his name is Gabe the actor. He's an actor and he's been working with us for over a year now. He also creates a vibe. If he sees someone that, looks like they should have a hat, he'll, put a hat on their head and say, "Hey, let's get a photo with the hat. And by the way, keep it. It's fine." It's little interactions. And I think people are not as selfish as sometimes other people think they are. And it's okay to see someone else have a great interaction and feel like you're a part of it. So if one in every 10 people have a unique interaction with one of our bagel bouncers, the other nine people witnessing it feel like they're a part of that interaction because they're among the vibe and the presence of what's going on. And the other thing is, music is always just an amazing way to make people, feel like they're having a moment, even if they're not talking to anyone.
But it's not just about keeping customers happy. Adam also knows that a strong business relies on taking care of its employees, treating them like a part of the family, and ensuring they feel valued and supported.
People need guardrails. People want to know that they're going to have a day off or whatever it might be. It's really important. And the other thing on scaling is, I think you have to really look at and be truthful to yourself. Like, is there a business here? Is there a way to do it? And more importantly, and this is probably everything. Okay, great. You're going to open 5 stores. How are you getting product to 5 stores? How do you know what boxes are in those 5 stores? What bags? What all of that is so difficult. The jump from 1 to 5 to 10 to 20. I mean, it is you can't do it yourself, and it's amazing. And then the final thing I'll say is you want to build a brand and a community, not just stores. I mean, that was important for us. Like, we treat everyone part of our community, part of our bagel loving family. Opening a store is opening a store, but we're trying to do more than that. And hopefully it's working. Seems like it is. In the law of numbers, the more locations you have, the more bagels that go out, the more employees you have, people are going to mess up. Like, mistakes do happen. And I used to be very short sighted on mistakes. And I used to think it's the end of the world. And it's not great to make. But when you have thousands of dozens of bagels going out of your store every week, at some point, someone's going to make a mistake. And you would hope that your business wouldn't be, shut down from haters just because someone forgot 6 bagels or the cream cheese wasn't there. And our staff is amazing and everyone makes mistakes. I make mistakes.
And that level of care really comes through in the interactions with customers. As Amanda shared, the employees at PopUp Bagels made her experience feel warm and genuine, even during the busiest moments.
Walking up was just all smiles everywhere, and you don't feel rushed even though it moves quickly, which is really nice. And like I said, it felt so genuine. Every "How are you?" Like, "What would you like?" Like, every word felt genuine, down to the "appreciate you," which I'm obsessed with that end phrase. And then picking up the bagels, again, only a few seconds later maybe, and the warmth and the smile and having it be such a positive short interaction, I feel is so unique because it could be really easy for them to just churn and burn and just get people in, get people out. They have a long line. They don't want people to be stressed or upset, but they treat every interaction with the time that it needs, which isn't a lot, but with real genuine interaction, which is great.
Adam values feedback from customers like Amanda, and he makes a point to read almost all the reviews, whether they're glowing 5-star ratings or critical 1-star comments. He believes there's always something to learn from them.
I read almost all the reviews that come in. I think they're pretty funny. I think you could tell when people have an amazing experience and you can tell when they have an okay experience. At the same time, it's very easy to tell when there's just a hit piece after you. When I read them for my business or for any other business, I kind of know which ones make the most sense, right? Most of our reviews, we're very fortunate, are in the 5-star range. Most of our 1-star reviews all say the same thing. They won't sell me a single bagel. This place is a ripoff. There's other bagel places in town. Great. Yeah, we can't please everyone. I would love everyone that enters my store to have a great experience, but there's no way to do that. Now, will we never sell one bagel? Maybe one day we'll sell a single bagel. But for right now, for me to sell a single bagel, it means I can no longer sell 8-ounce cream cheese. I now have to sell 2-ounce cream cheese. And if I sell 2-ounce cream cheese, I need new containers and I need to hire someone to scoop. And before you know it, we're not a profitable business anymore, possibly. So I love reviews. I think reviews get a bad rap. Yelp certainly gets a bad rap sometimes. I think the important thing is to aggregate the reviews into what actually matters, and where you can tell someone just woke up on the wrong side, or someone just has a vengeance against you.
Reviews are essential for small businesses, especially in cities where competition is fierce. They give owners insights into what's working and what might need improvement, and they also help customers make informed decisions. Reviews provide businesses the opportunity to grow and improve. At the same time, they allow customers to discover new places, support local businesses, and share their experience with others.
In a city like New York, there's so many options, right? And there could be a lot of your chain options, but there's so many small, unique options. And being able to discover those, it just feels like something really special. Like you're a part of something that's that's almost like a hidden gem. And sure, they're popular and they're gaining a lot of popularity. But to be honest, there was also a bagel shop maybe 2 blocks away that was on our way, and they were also really busy, and I was like, "Oh, this is like the bagel battle on this street," which is awesome because they're both really busy, which is so great. And it's especially post-pandemic, seeing these little businesses thrive and be so busy even with competition right down the street. It makes you wanna go more even, and it's just that they put a lot more into it and they really care. And that's also supported by the staff that worked there. Like the whole experience felt like they truly care. And it makes you just want to even visit them even more and make you want to write a review, really, because I want people to know the type of experience I had. I want them to know that it did look busy, but it moved quickly, and that every staff interaction was really amazing. So I think that especially with writing reviews and supporting these businesses, it all like works really well in like that kind of typical way.
Leaving a thoughtful review, whether positive or critical, is more than just feedback for the business. It's an important way for customers to contribute to the community of people looking for reliable, quality experiences. For small businesses, these reviews help them grow, adapt, and thrive.
And that concludes our episode. I hope you enjoyed it and were able to take a thing or two away to implement in your own life. Whether it's a new idea that you can bring back to your business or a fresh perspective on how to be a positive influence as a consumer, we share these stories to inspire and create more meaningful connections in your local community.
Behind the review, dig deeper too. Behind the review, get all the news. Food, flowers, fixing, make business boom. Behind the review, dig deeper too.
This episode featured a conversation with Adam Goldberg, the owner of PopUp Bagels, as well as Amanda R., a Yelp reviewer who is visiting New York City. Special thanks to Charlotte Che, who helped write this episode. To learn more about the story, head to yelp.com/behind the review and check out the guest details and episode takeaways. And don't forget to subscribe to the show on your favorite listening platform so you get an alert each Thursday that we drop a new episode. To claim your own Yelp business page and start engaging with consumers, visit business.yelp.com. Our theme song is performed by Ali Schwartz and produced by Robbie G of Messerol Sound.